Today we're having tea with Bettina Hallifax, a trainer from the journey. Welcome, Bettina.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I want to ask you a bit more about the journey. Can you tell us, what is the journey?
What is the journey? Yeah,
Yes.
That's a good question. What is it anyway,
What is
right?
it?
What is it? Yeah.
Yes.
It's a method and it's a step-by-step process. It has these two elements. One is really to connect back to your source, to your essence, and the other one, it gives you direct access to the root cause of whatever blocks you in life. So, and release that and let go of that.
That sounds intense.
Yeah, it is intense, yeah. And very freeing, very freeing.
Okay. You became a trainer for the journey.
Yeah.
What makes the difference to choose for this training?
Well, first of all, I didn't start the journey because I wanted to use it professionally. I don't come from that field at all.
Okay.
It was really private, personal story. And my personal story is that I was diagnosed with the Epstein-Barr virus, which is like symptoms like the chronic fatigue.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I didn't function really anymore. Let's say I couldn't work anymore. I couldn't really have interaction with my social life, and I felt emotionally pretty depressed. And what scared me most at that time, that was 15 years ago now.
Okay.
So it's a long time ago, yeah.
Yes.
Is that my marriage was really shaky. And I stretched, let's say, the relationship of the years before as to that I couldn't really trust my husband. I didn't have any kind of evidence, I didn't have any kind of real reasons, but innately there was a mistrust in me. I distrusted if he really loves me. So I really put that into the relationship. So years later, the whole relationship came to a point where it was really wobbly. So it was these two factors which let me go out there and look for how can I help myself. And a friend of mine, she just came back from South Africa and she went to a practitioner in Switzerland. Because when you do the whole program with Brendan, you become a journey practitioner in order to work with that.
Mm-hmm.
So she went to Switzerland and was completely over the moon what she experienced. She said, I know you're looking for something, you need to try that. So I read her book, The Journey from Brendan Bays, and thought, okay, I want to try that, and went back. I went also to the same practitioner in Switzerland, and that was definitely the best decision I could have made.
Okay.
Because unlike the other therapies which I've tried before, where I talked about things, but I never had access how I really felt. And in that journey process, I got like thrown back in time, and all of a sudden I was really small, got access to a memory where I felt completely alone, where I felt abandoned, and where I intrinsically had the feeling I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable. And when I really released that pain and released the words, and also forgave my parents and forgave myself for all those years where I carried that baggage along, there was a huge release and a huge shift in my life. And another thing what was really captivated me then to go the journey path was to reconnect with my essence. Now I was somebody, I always looked at photos from me when I was little, and I was always thinking, where's that Bettina? That spark, that what comes out of her, that joy. I just couldn't find that. I just in me, I just couldn't find it anymore. And within an hour or so, I all of a sudden got access to something I was looking for years. And so this connection, it was for me a oneness. I felt one with everything, and that really carried me on for weeks on end. So it was like, in a nutshell, to uncover something, to release it, and to reconnect with myself, which gave me the feeling this is really something for me. This goes beyond my thinking mind, beyond my critical mind, because I was criticizing a lot myself and everything. I was very fearful at that time to try things, but it just got me on guard. It just took me, and I went on that journey, and that was it. So I think half a year or a year later, Brandon came the first time to the Netherlands, gave the first journey intensive here, and I went there, and another amazing experience. And there it was my own journey, which was amazing, and to meet all these people and to see that it worked on everybody. And so I went to another seminar and another, and then decided to do the whole program, which was a huge privilege for me, because at that time, all the friends I had here in Amsterdam, they were not Dutch. They were all from different countries,
yes.
like some of the foreigners have here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I was in this group of Dutch people, because we were like 40 Dutch, or 40 from Holland, going to England and doing the program. And to connect with them on such a deep level, because you really, you expose yourself, you really get raw, you stop vulnerable, you stop running away from yourself, and to have such a exchange with people on such a depth, that was just for me, which really got me, where I thought, I'm right here, this is where I should be. Yeah.
So how long is it then that you give trainings as a journey trainer?
Yeah, 11 years
11
now.
years already? Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
In these 11 years, what was the most impressive moment for you in a shift in your training with a trainee?
Just thinking about it really makes me, moves me. Because in a journey intensive seminar, it's the first day when you meet the people, which is normal that we all, let's say, we are guarded a bit. Right, we wear our masks, we wear our shields, we don't know what's going to happen, and we're not so open, which is really normal. I was like that as well, it's completely normal. And that within a day, people open so to themselves and to others, and to watch that and experience that, it's just, it just gave me a lot of trust and hope in our world and humankind. And like one of the big experiences I had was 9 years ago. At that time we had the Journey Practitioner program in Germany, however in the former east part of Germany. And Brandon just started also to give intensives in Israel. So there were the Israelis who wanted to become a practitioner, but in order to become a practitioner, they had to come to East Germany. So you can imagine for some of them who said they never want to enter Germany ever because of what happened to their parents or grandparents, that was a huge step for them. So anyway, around 40 came to East Germany. And it was a seminar from 280 people from many different nations. And because we have translation there, simultaneous translation, we put them sometimes in rows together so that not the languages all get confused, right? So we had a row of the Israeli people, of the different kinds of people who are able to understand English. And then we had on another side, we had the Germans, so they were pretty far away from each other. And it was on the very first night, you could already feel the room was really charged. It felt really awkward, as if there are borders, and there was a really strange atmosphere. So Brandon, she names that immediately. She said, do we all feel here this big elephant in the room, right? And she brought the wall into the room where she talked about the wall, and that all kind of nations had waged war against each other, or religions waged war against each other. And then she said, there is the war, our war, because she said every one of us, we fire bullets, but with our words. And it was just really clear, we all said words where some other people get upset, which just come out of you, which you maybe don't even mean that way, or sometimes you do, and you really know how to cut some people small, right? And then she said, and then there are the bullets we have internally, where we tell ourselves, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not this, I'm not that. And we have this internal war. So she guided us on a process where she where we have, in the journey, we have a campfire, and at the campfire we empty out everything what we say. So she let us empty out all what we weren't proud of. So it was this huge process, and then the end is forgiving yourself, forgiving others. So you had this eyes closed as you with yourself, and then she asked us to open the eyes and to look at the partner next to you and say, I forgive you. And so you've done that, you're wide open, you want to forgive, you tell the other person, I forgive you for everything what you've said and everything what you've experienced. And then she said, and if you want to forgive somebody else in the room, just please go ahead. And I was sitting in the last row because I was working there as a trainer. And within seconds, I mean, she said that, and then in the same seconds, the Germans and the Israelis, they jumped up, they were running towards each other, and other people, and they were just hugging and sobbing and forgiving for what happened with the ancestors, right? And there was a person, so it was, first of all, really moving to watch that. And then us as trainers, we also, so we looked out, and then there was this older lady, a Jewish lady, coming to me, and she grabbed my hand and she said, Bettina, I really forgive you on behalf of your ancestors, I forgive you. And she was really little, and we were like big difference, and she was saying that. And I said, thank you, and then she probably felt that I could not really let it in. And then she said to me, Bettina, if you don't forgive yourself, if you don't forgive your ancestors, it will never be complete. And in that moment, I really realized that I was so ashamed as being German. This is why I left really early home. I didn't want to live in Germany. And through her, I could really open up a different healing path for me, for her, for healing with my culture. So if you ask me the question, it's from personal things what people experience personally and also in the community and nationwide. It's just a healing method for me, which is it's global. It's really, it's for, if you have inner peace, you create outer peace.
Yes.
So yeah.
Thank you. So how can the journey help people to heal or to develop, to grow?
Well, we all have different issues. Some people come to the journey because they are sick. They read Brandon's story, who the journey was developed from her being physically ill. So they come through that. Other people, they come to the journey because they have relationship problems, or they have problems with themselves where they feel not in touch with themselves, or they have blocks of any kind, writing blocks, creative blocks, where they just feel stuck. Some people have emotional problems where they have issues with certain emotions. So there's all kinds of, issues which brings people to the journey. And you can, in my idea, you can, with that method, really have a really great process to really get in touch with yourself, to get in touch with what you have not digested, what is still running in you. Something which you experience mostly in your childhood or even in the womb, something which could develop in a pattern and is there. You don't even understand why it is there, but you're running this pattern or this ill behavior. And to really get access and heal that. And on another level is to really get access to yourself, to your free self, and live from that, live from the potential you have, from the creativity you have. So it's really something which gives you access to your own truth, your answers. It's not a healing from the outside. It's really a healing from the inside. And that's what I loved from the very first moment. It's one session is complete. Whatever memories come up, you're ready to face and let go. It's not let's go now when you were 5 and experience what you have there. No, you go on your journey and whatever comes up is what comes up.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's just an amazing method to use. And I work also with kids, and there you really see in how quickly kids really get that process. They go on their inner journey, they discover something which they haven't dealt with, they talk about it, let it out, they feel refreshed, they feel open, and they feel free again. And it works, so quickly. Just gave a kids seminar in Estonia and Germany, and
They
what
do not
happens
have all
there,
the beliefs,
no,
systems.
yeah, but it's in that moment when you think, if I would have grown up with that, and it wouldn't have stacked up, wow,
Yeah.
and most come to the journey, they're a lot older, so I think it's a great method to really, to start as early as possible to stay connected with yourself.
Yeah. So can you tell us a bit more about a 3-day intensive seminar? What will we do on the first day, second day,
Mm-hmm.
third day? How does it look? How does
Yeah.
it feel?
Yeah.
What is the intention?
Yeah. Well, on the first day we call it the emotional day, because for all the people who maybe read her book, in her book she describes 2 journeys. The one is the emotional process and the one is the physical journey. It's both deeply healing journeys, however it's a different beginning. You begin the journey differently. So the first day is about more healing with your emotions, because most people, they have issues with emotions, really feeling and accessing emotions. Like, for example, to say something quickly, last weekend we've been in Bratislava. There was one lady. She said on the second day, she said what she experienced the first day. She said she has, since around 10 years, she has panic attacks. And she's been to doctors, to psychotherapists, she tried lots of different things and tried also medicine, and it just didn't work, it didn't help. It calmed it down, but never really. And she said she accessed a memory on the first process, and what was really important for her is to really not run away from her emotions, because that's what we do on the first day, where we really, it's not about the story, it's more feeling the emotion, whatever emotion is there in that moment. So you feel it, you're relaxing it. And in order to find out that emotions come and go, they don't stick with us. And most people there, after a while, when you get an adult, you have fear of either fear of feeling certain emotions, fear of feeling emotions at all. Yes. So we all have these issues with emotions, right? So in the journey, it's again to befriend your emotions without any pressures, in a very soft way. So she experienced that emotions come and go through the process. So she said, when I went to bed at night, she said, all of a sudden I woke up and I had a panic attack. She said, out of nowhere, my heart started pounding, and like, I know, right? So she thought, okay, I experienced, if I just embrace that fear, it will also go. So she lay in bed, she said, okay, fear, I'm ready. And she didn't run away. She didn't get up out of her bed, which she normally does. She didn't do anything. She just stayed put, felt all the fear. And she said, I don't know how long it lasted. It felt like 1 or 2 minutes. And then there was peace. And she sat there and she said, I cannot understand how I was for 10 years running away for something which took 2 minutes to feel. And yes, some emotions are uncomfortable. You know, we all rather experience joy than yes. Sadness. And it's being human, right, to feel. So this is what you get again, the normality to feel. And we do the emotional journey process. So in the afternoon, you with a delegate, with another delegate, you exchange a journey process. And then every day we have a huge trainer team. Now most of the trainer teams, they're journey practitioners, meaning they have done the whole program. Okay. And they are there as an embrace and as a support. So even if you like, say, we would have met there and I give you a journey process and all of a sudden something happens that I don't know anymore, I just do this and a trainer comes and helps us. If I'm a person who feels I cannot do this with another, I cannot swap a process with another delegate, I'm too afraid, I feel too ill, I feel too whatever, then we have the options that people can have a process with a trainer there, because the support team is so big. So the first day is really where you get access again to your experience, to your essence, where you go through emotional layers, where you have your whole emotional process. And then the next day is focusing more on the body. And we call it the physical journey day, where we do lots of little group processes in the morning to deepen the experience from the day before. And we learn how the physical journey works, and in the afternoon you swap with another person the physical journey process. So you have a second deep process. And on the third day we build on the experience of what we have done the last 2 days. And because we've experienced both processes, the emotional and the physical, we know how the process works. So we get more tools. So on the Sunday it's more where we learn a little bit more tools how to get a deeper experience when you are alone, like when you meet with other people, you want to exchange on your own. So you learn a lot more how to guide somebody, what kind of tools you have, how you can assist somebody better and yourself. And you have in the afternoon another process. So you have 3 processes. So by the end of that weekend, first of all, you've let go of a lot of things. You are in a safe environment where you for 3 days really can face deep issues for yourself, where you share, if you want to, with others about that, and where you're in this cocoon, right? But also on day 3, because you learn these skills, you feel actually ready to continue your journey by swapping with others. And the support system here in the Netherlands, it's huge, because the journey is here since 14 years. So I don't know, I think there are around 300 practitioners in Holland alone. I mean, it's huge. They have grad evenings, what we call them, where they meet in the evening, swap processes, so you can continue.
Okay.
So there's a huge support system here. Yeah, so that's what you have in the 3 days, really deep. It's not an easy peasy seminar, it's where you really go deep and really face your stuff, and in a very safe environment.
It's called a 3-day
intensive. It is intense, yeah. But in a good way.
Yes.
In a really good way, in a very freeing way. Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to share with us?
Anything I'd like to share?
Yeah.
Is that I wish for myself that this, what's being said here, what's being exchanged, that came over for some as to get the book, find a practitioner, come to the seminar, whatever, that you were spoken to in your heart, and that you hear that there is something out there which is possible to really get in touch with yourself and also heal from within. And that is possible. And because every time again, people sometimes think, just the people who write the books, they can do that. And I've met thousands and thousands of people in the last 14, 15 years, and from all walks of life. Little ones, old ones, different nationalities, different issues, and it just works. It just does, because it's for me, it's a human process. It just makes sense on a human level. So try it out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, Barbara. Thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to come here to Amsterdam, because in Amsterdam this is where it started for me. So to have that privilege to be here, that's very humbling for me. En ik spreek Nederlands. Je kunt met mij Nederlands praten. The seminar is in English because I feel more comfortable to give our seminar in English. Yes. But the Dutch language is very dear to me, and I can understand it perfectly. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Dear audience, thank you for being here with Bettina. And if you want some more information about the journey, visit our website unlp.nl.